Hey guys, it's Mr. Walker here, and thank you for joining me for another math lesson. Today we're covering some more fractions, okay? We've been doing a lot of work with adding and subtracting fractions, um, whether they have like units or whether they have different units that they're divided into. And today we're going to move on a little bit to like mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are fractions that are more than a whole, okay? So for example, if I had something like 1.5 or 2 3/4. These are numbers, they have a whole number and a fraction, okay? So we're over one whole and we're between two different numbers depending on what it is that we're working with. So our goal for today is to be able to add and subtract these fractions and whole numbers um, using a number line strategy, as well as just like some of our mental math kind of thinking, be able to add or subtract these numbers. Now, most of our numbers and our fractions are going to be divided into the same units. So like here I have two different units, but most of the ones we deal with today, they're going to have the same units. It's going to make it a little bit easier, and I'm going to show you a strategy on how we can use a number line to help us add these numbers, okay? So make sure you just have something to write on, something to write with, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so here's the first example we're going to take a look at, and I'm going to roll through a couple of examples pretty quick because this is a fairly quick concept. I think you guys will take to it pretty fast. So here I have 1 plus 1 3/4, okay? So if we think about this in terms of, like if I were to draw rectangles, right? So if I drew a couple rectangles here, and even if I divided them into, say, fourths, right? Because that's the unit that we're going to be dealing with eventually here. So I would have 1 plus 1 3/4. I realize my rectangles aren't exactly the same size, but I think we're got a good enough idea here. So again, I was going to shade in some of these boxes, right? So to make the number 1 whole, I would have to have 4 out of these 4 shaded in. And then 1 3/4, I'd have to do 1 whole and then 3 more fourths, right? So if I look at this together as like one number, I have 1, 2 wholes, and 3/4. 2 3/4. That's easy enough, right? I added my whole numbers first. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 3/4 more. To represent this on a number line, super easy to do. Just going to draw a couple numbers here. I'm going to start at 0, right? And I'm going to do 1 jump, so that's like my plus 1. And then I'm going to have another 1 whole. Okay, that gets me to my 2 spot there, and then 3/4. So I know I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3/4. Keeping in mind that like each one of these jumps here, it's 1/4, then 1/4, then 1/4. So 1, 2, 3/4. So altogether, 3/4. So I'm going to have 2 3/4. Okay. Not a super difficult concept to think of, right? But this number line can come in handy when we're making those jumps to make sure that we're going in the right direction, right? All right, let's take a look at another example real quick. So here I have 2 3/10 plus 3. So I'm going to look at my number line here. Not a perfectly straight number line, but I think it'll get the point across. And I'm going to put some numbers on this number line. And I know from what I could see here, obviously I have a 2 and a 3, so I know I'm going to have to go higher than 3. So let's do 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just to be close, but I know it's not going to be that much. But anyway, I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to add my 2 whole first. So 1, 2. It's going to put me here, plus 2, and then plus my 3. So 1, 2, 3, plus 3. So now I'm at 5, plus 3/10. Okay, so I know that my 3/10, it's not whole, it's not 10/10, it's only 3, so it's going to be like 1, 2, 3. So I'm not going to make it all the way to 6, but I'm going to make it here to 3/10. So we're going to say that that's plus 3/10. So if I look at that now, I have 5 3/10. Easy enough, right? Okay, hopefully you guys are getting the hang of this. Not too terribly difficult. Let's take a look at this guy. Now we got some subtraction going on, right? So I have 2 minus 3/5. Okay, so if I draw my number line out here, let's say I got my 0 over here, my 1, my 2. I know I don't need to go up anymore because I'm not adding anything. So I'm actually going to be working my way backwards, back towards 1. but I'm only going to go 3 out of 5 spots. So if I wanted to divide this into 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and then I could say, all right, I'm going back 3 of those 5, so 1, 2, 3, so I'm subtracting 3/5, and that's going to leave me at 1, right, 1 whole, I'm still past that, and 1 2/5, 1 and 2/5, okay? All right, so hopefully that makes sense, not taking up too much brain space in your super powerful, super full math brains. Hopefully starting to click a little bit. Let's take a look at just one more example real quick, and then I think you guys are good to go to practice this a little bit. All right, here I have two like mixed numbers, right? Two fractions that are in whole numbers that are combined here. So if I was to draw this out on a number line, I'm going to be adding 5 and 2/4 plus 2 and 1/4. Okay, so let's see, we'll start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just go to 10 because right there. Okay, cool. So let's start at our 5 here. So I know I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That's my plus 5. Then I'm going to do my other whole number, which is plus 2. Plus 2 will get me out to 7. Okay. Then I'm going to have 2/4. So I'm going to have to go 1, 2/4. So plus 2/4. And then plus 1 more fourth, which would bring me to 3/4. Plus 1/4. Brings me to 3/4. So then I know I have 7 and 3/4. 7 and 3/4. Cool. So I added my whole numbers first, then my fractions, and then we're good to go. So hopefully this is starting to make sense. You guys are going to practice this a little bit more today. I'm also going to have another video in here with a couple more examples, but this is a pretty easy concept, especially when we're dealing with like denominators, so like units, okay? All of these and the examples that we took a look at, they all match, or they don't, the other fractions don't have a denominator, so we don't have to worry about it as much. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you can use that number line strategy to help you out. Again, if you need anything at all, please let me know, and have fun adding some fractions, guys. All right, we'll talk to you soon.